Hello everyone, welcome to Engineered Learnings. Engineered Learnings has been created as an effort to help and reach out to all the engineering students, aspirants and professionals out there with the basic understanding and the crux of the topics important for placements, vivas, semesters, competitive examinations and all types of interviews. So let's go to today's topic. Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. So today we're going to talk about how to prepare a CV, a curriculum vitae, a very important thing for an interview wherever you go, no matter whether you are going for an MBA program or an MTech program or a job interview, anywhere you go, you would need a curriculum vitae. So a curriculum vitae is the most important thing that reflects one's personality when he or she appears for the interview. The first thing that the interview look at is your curriculum vitae. So CV is extremely important. Now 2 or 3 messages have popped up recently over LinkedIn and WhatsApp. They want me to verify the CV, whether they need to make any amendments or any changes in their CV or the format is correct or not. Now let me tell you that there is no correct or proper format of preparing a CV. To each its own. Like you have your personal assets, you're going to put in that in a proper structural way so that it reflects your personality, it reflects the assets that you have gathered over age to the interviewer that you're appearing for. So it depends on the interviewee and the interviewer. Now, if you are appearing for a data analytics company, your CV is going to be different, is going to have different points and structuralization than if you are appearing for a core technical company, because the requirement for the 2 companies or the 2 sectors are completely different. So you have to prepare your CV accordingly. Now it is the requirement of the company itself and the candidate that is appearing. So your perk points or your assets are going to be different from mine. So your way of representation and my way of representation of my assets are going to be different. But again, having said that, there should be a proper structuralization of a CV. If your CV is not structured properly, or if supposedly you've not thought about it that much, you think that the interview is the ultimate thing, the CV is just a piece of paper, it's just some few questions will be asked from it, nothing more, nothing less in that CV is that much important or that much impactful, then you're absolutely wrong, because CV, curriculum vitae, is the first thing that the interviewer will get in hand about you, and when he or she reads that, he or she will get a glimpse of your personality, not only from the contents of the CV, but also from the structuralization of the same. Now, there are a few things that plays in the mind of the interviewer when he or she watches the CV. That thing is not very evident when you are trying to prepare a CV. You do not think in that depth that whether I should keep this or not, whether the color, what should be the color, what should be the structure, what should be the, whether I should keep it in paragraphs or in lines, or I should put bullet points, what should be the exact structure of the same, whether that will play in the mind of the HR that much. Yes, it does, because they have been taught to understand or read the mind of the candidate by seeing their few virtues, their way of dealing with things, and your preparation of a CV is a reflection of your personality. How you prepare or structure your CV clearly gives a glimpse of your initial glimpse, at least, of your personality, or a reflection of your personality of what candidate, what type of candidate you are. I'm going to give a few examples. Having said this, I'm again repeating, there is no correct way, to each its own and to the specific company that you are appearing. If you are appearing for a data analytics company, the approach is going to be different. If you are appearing for a core technical company, the approach is different. If you are appearing for a IT sector, it's different. So again, depends on the candidate, depends on the interviewer. But the structuralization, how does it play in the mind of the HR? Very interestingly, stay with me till the end of this video and you're going to understand the proper mindset of an interviewer, what an interviewer exactly looks in for a candidate. So whenever you are preparing a CV, first of all, there is a notion. There is a notion, and it's a very deceptive one, that your CV should be compressed. It should be within 1 page. Nobody gives a botheration to read a CV of 3 to 4 pages or 2 or 3 pages. If you make it too lengthy, it will be boring. Ultimately, no one will read it. It will give a bad impression about you. Nothing as such. Trust me, nothing as such. If your CV has points that intrigues the interviewer, that drives his interest, every point in your CV, if it is interesting, if it gives a reflection of your personality in a different kind of way, if it is not repetitive and monotonous, And if it intrigues the mind of the interviewer, then he is going to find interest in every bit of it. Whether it is 2.5 pages or it is 2 pages or it is 1 page, it depends on the content that you are providing. If your 2.5 pages are repetitive, then it's of no use. You should make it 1 page. But if it contains everything new, your different assets, your different aspects, your exploration in different sectors, your personality reflection in different domains, if it reflects your personality in different sectors, how you behave or how you structure things differently, it gives an impression in each sector that you have explored, then that will be looked upon in interest by the interviewer. In fact, he will be in awe that you have explored so many fields, you have tried to do so many things, and each of them intrigues or puts forwards an interest and question in the mind of the interviewer. If that is the case, then even a CV of 3 to 4 pages will not be invaluable. It is, trust me, extremely important that what content you put in the CV rather than the length of the CV. If your content is good, even a 3 to 4 pages CV would do. My personal CV is of 2.5 pages. I've tried to compress it, but I thought that it would be of no use, because then you are not going to show the credible things that you have done in your past 23, 24 years, whatever you have done. You need to show each and every asset if it counts. So again, the length is a myth. It's a deceptive notion. If the content is good, you can definitely keep it first. Second, the color. Now, many people like to keep it black and white. Many people like to keep it colorful. Now, these are the things that one tries to make the CV look lucrative. Another tries to focus more on the contents. If you are trying to make it lucrative, one reflection that it might create on the HR may create in the mind of the HR that he's trying to gain some cookie points by making it more lucrative, making it more presentable. There is nothing bad in it. It just reflects that your CV doesn't have content enough, or it is not content driven, it is more a presentation driven. And there is nothing wrong in it. If you are going for a marketing or a sales profile or an MBA course, then your colorful CV can actually be a perk for you. But if the same is with a technical company or an analytics firm or an IT sector, then it might play negative for you as well. Because then the person thinks that if you are trying to design up too many things, then the content is not that strong, because people will be busy involved with the colors that you put in the CV, not with the content in it. So the color also plays effective role at times, and this is how it gives a reflection. If you're trying to clumps up too many things in one particular place, like I saw a CV a few days back, it was an excellent CV, there was nothing wrong in it, but too much information clumsy in one page, it gives a very bad reflection of your way of maintaining things. It gives a reflection that you are very clumsy with things, and you don't really know how to put up or present things properly. You have not dispersed it properly. You have put that into one shell. It gives a impression that you put your thoughts in a box clustered. Yes, it gives an impression like that. You might not have thought about that in so much of a depth, but it actually gives an impression that you have very clustered thought process, or you try to put it up all in one box and you are not very open-minded, or you don't try to spread up things, disperse one at a time. You try to clumps up the things. That's the impression that it gives up. So these are the type of things that one should keep in mind while preparing the CV. Having said this, there is no proper structure or correct way of preparing a CV. The basic elements that the CV should contain, now coming to the important portion of it, the basic elements that your CV must contain is first point, your personal information. Now your personal information will contain your name, your age maybe, your address, your LinkedIn profile link if one desires to give it, LinkedIn profile link, Quora profile link, your mobile number, your email ID, contact email ID. Now what I have done, I have attached my CV, by the way, in the description box. You can refer to that. That's the kind of structure that I usually go with. Simple, putting up all scattered, putting up under headings, and trying to justify every bit of the thing that I have done till date. So I put my CV in the description box. You can refer to that. So what I have done is I have put a header, watermark or a header at the top of each page, giving my mail ID and my contact number, 2 contact numbers. So this is the thing that you can also do. You can provide a header in every page. It will contain your email ID and your contact number. Your LinkedIn profile, your Quora profile, your active work profile. Quora and LinkedIn are the 2 professional sectors that can add up actually to your CV. So if you are very active on Quora or LinkedIn and you give regular posts, then you can obviously give your profile links there first. Personal information now. Second is educational qualification. Now, very important. Once again, here also one more point. People tend to give their 8 semesters marks. Like each semester, one individual pointer. That is 8.3 CGPA, 7.9 CGPA, 8.7 CGPA in 3rd semester, 4th semester, 5.6 CGPA, blah, 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 blah. Now, there is nothing wrong in it. Once again, there is nothing wrong in it. If you give the 8 semester CGPA, it kind of reflects that you are short of matter to write in your CV. If your CV is of 1 page and you fill up half of the page with particular information only about your educational details, that I have gathered this many marks in this semester, this many marks in this semester, this many marks in this semester. First of all, it becomes repetitive, it's monotonous, and it occupies almost 1/4 or 1/3 of your entire CV, and it gives a reflection that you are short of other achievements or other assets. So you're focusing much on the particular semester marks. So I personally prefer 1 clubbed marks of 8 semesters. Now, if you are appearing for an internship, this might help, because then people look for CGPAs. If you are appearing for an internship or internship interview, or you're just in your 5th or 6th semester, then this might just take a minimum amount of space and also give a reflection of your personality. But if you have already passed out and you're looking for a job switch, or you are looking for a new job after your college, then giving the 8 semesters mark sheet, all the marks of all the semesters, taking up this much, consuming this much amount of space, I think is of no use practically, because it then makes your CV unnecessarily lengthy and undesirably gives an impression that you are short of what's to write in your CV, and you're trying to fill up the things with unnecessary details. So that is the thing. So your educational qualifications, your class 2, that is +2, 10, and engineering or any other qualification that you have done, their CGPAs, their aggregate percentages, the year of passing, because that gives a reflection of whether you have dropped out 1 year or not. That year of passing is very important. The board that you belong to, the school and the college name, the aggregate marks, as I have already told. Done. Third important portion is your work experience. Now, do not confuse up work experience with internship experience. They are 2 different sectors. People often put internship experience in work experience. They are 2 different sectors. Work experience is full-time experience. Now, in the work experience section, the time that you have been associated with the company, like 7 months or 8 months or a year or 2 years, which company, the company name, the time you have been associated with it, if you have multiple companies, or if you have multiple roles in the same company, you can make a tabular chart. Like HZL, I have been associated as a process engineer for this to this time, then I've been an assistant manager from this to this time. Like this format you can follow. In some other company, from this to this year, I have been in this role. So your role should be there, your company name should be there, the time should be there you have been working in, your achievements during that particular time, your achievements in bullet points should be there, and your current role should be there. So this is the work experience. Now, coming to the third point, the internship experiences, the internships, trainings and projects. Now, if you have done some research projects, you can keep it in a different sector. If you're going for an MTech program or a MS outside, so that will be very helpful. A different section of research projects and papers published, if you have one, you can keep. Otherwise, you can club it into one section, like I have done, internships, trainings and projects. So it gives an overall view of what internship you have done, where you have done, how long you have been associated with the internship, what was the topic of internship, and who was your mentor. So this is the thing. Third, internships, trainings and projects done. Fourth, your achievements, your awards, your accolades, your honors, whatever you have earned. Now, this should be national, international, state or recognized, sponsored or recognized college events, not class 12 elocution, some people do give these things, these pretty minute things in your CV, and this only gives a reflection that you do not have enough awards or accolades. Since you have to make a chart on that, have to make a section, you have added up unnecessary things that are irrelevant and are like not giving a proper reflection about you, because you are putting up things that are not of much importance. If you are putting up a quiz show that was only hosted in your university by you people only locally, then it's of no use. But if it's a recognized university event, if it's a fest, university fest sponsored program, if it's a national or international event, you can obviously give up. So awards, accolades, honors, and participations, very important. One chart you make. Fifth, next portion would be your proficiency in different languages, like different tools. Now, one may give some statistical tool like Minitab, Six Sigma Green Belt. I'm professionally trained in Minitab. I'm professionally proficient in Six Sigma. Statistically, some coding tools like MATLAB, C++, Python, Java, C, if you have proficiency in that. What kind of interface are you proficient with? Windows, Mac, interface proficiency. I'm comfortable with handling Adobe software, so you can give that proficiency as well. If you are going for a different kind of a role like editing or something like that, so you Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, FCP10, you have handled, you have had work experience, or you're proficient enough with that, you can give that as well. Done. Internships done, this done. Extracurriculum activities. Apart from your curriculum, the things that you have been involved in, like if you have been the marketing head of any organization, or if you have been involved in painting, you have won some awards in that. Again, some national or international recognitions that you have gathered from your hobbies or your extracurriculum that you passionately follow will count here. So extracurriculum is something that you are actively involved with apart from your curriculum. If you have a page, if you are a founder of a page, if you are a painter, if you are a sports person, you can write about that. If you have any assets nationally or internationally, you can write about that as well. So these are the things that will go in extracurriculum. After you are done with extracurriculum, one more column will follow: leadership responsibilities. Now, leadership responsibilities are university events or like company events that you have hosted, that you have been a part of. You have been the general secretary or the head, sponsorship head maybe, or like coordinators. You have been a coordinator for an event, so it has to be a good event once again, and you have to be in a leadership role, so you can give that in roles of leadership or roles of responsibility, a different sector. And now comes volunteering experience. Volunteering experience is something that you have done socially for an NGO or a non-profit organization where you had nothing to earn, no money was involved, but you did it because you like to do it. Like you can be associated with an NGO, you can be associated with a relief fund, you have contributed, you have at a particular time you were associated with a particular raising fund for a social issue, you can give those actually act as great perk points if you have been involved with some social practice. So these are the things, volunteering experience you can give, and these are the basic elements that one should keep in your CV. Apart from this, if you have anything else, you can also put it, but these are the 7 to 8 things that are very necessary: education, internships, work experience, operating tools like statistical tool and coding languages if you are proficient with, participations, awards, accolades, leadership roles, extracurriculum, and finally, last but not the least, volunteering experience associated with the NGO or non-profit organization. So I think this will conclude your CV, and the structurization of the CV, proper formatting, not trying to compress the things too much, not trying to make it too much of a colorful CV, gives a reflection that you have content enough, not giving monotonous and repetitive things, just trying to explore new aspects of your personality that gives intrigues the HR and makes him or her think that you're something else. You've explored different domains, so your CV should be actually reflecting your personality, and that's what it does. So you need to prepare your CV well. So if you're appearing for your interview, I think this will be helpful to you. Just prepare your CV properly, go and bag the interview home. That's all I can say. If you liked it, like our page, share it with your friends, subscribe to our channel, and help us reach greater heights. That I think will do for it today. Thank you very much.